Blog Talk Radio.
Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorda, and I'm here with my co-host, Ringside Robert, and England's adopted son, Joe Beeb. And we have a great show for you today. And if you want to call in and ask questions, you can call in right now at 323-870-3857. And we'll be here till about 9 o'clock tonight. Beeb, it's a hard out at 9, no?
Oh, this is going to be the best. This is going to be the best episode ever tonight, baby.
Right. This one right here is Game of Thrones. Are you speaking of our episode or Game of Thrones?
There's only three left, guys.
Both.
Both. Okay. There we go. What'd you say, Robert?
There's only 3 episodes left, guys.
You're such a buzzkill, dude. Why do you have to say that? Why would you? Let us have our fun. Do you watch Game of Thrones?
Yes, I do. I love the show.
Look at that. Robbie, watching Game of Thrones and Taxi Cab Confessions. Love it. He's an HBO freak. All right, today we're going to talk about Triple G. Robert, your boy who dumped Abel Sanchez. He dumped him like yesterday's news. Picked a new trainer yesterday, and we'll tell you all about him. Dominic Breazeale and Deontay Wilder may be having some issues selling those tickets, and I'll tell you why later on. But not a good look. But first, we get started with DAZN. Canelo Alvarez versus Danny Jacobs for the IBF, WBC, and WBA Alphabet Soup middleweight titles. Canelo Alvarez wins a unanimous decision by the scores of 115-113 twice and 116-112. And I'll tell you what, I had the fight scored 115-113 for Canelo Alvarez. I thought that it was a close fight. It was a very close fight, as we stated last night. But Canelo, to me, seemed to fade down the stretch. I don't know if this was a symptom of his cardio. I don't know if it was, could have been a symptom of those body shots Jacobs was laying in early. But it looked like Canelo faded down the stretch. And he also did this in the Triple G fight. And they made mention of that brace, and I believe it's on his right. Is it on his left leg, Beeb?
I think it's on his right knee.
Yeah, whatever. It's on his leg or whatever. But it's on his knee, and they said that he had to actually cut down the road work. I think that might be something. I don't know if there's something there or not, but I didn't know it was like that serious. I thought it was just more for a comfort thing. And sometimes when you wear those, it's just more for a mental, hey, this seems to help me. I can do it without it, but I like it there, and it's just something
Can I tell you something? Not to interrupt you, but I've worn them before. They do nothing for your leg. There's no support because it's just because once you have internal damage, it's almost impossible to stabilize it. Like I told you yesterday, the best thing they do is they keep they cause heat, and it helps keep down the inflammation because it compresses it, and it makes it hot, and it warms up the knee, so it keeps the inflammation going, which helps alleviate the pain. But they also said, I guess that he's going to have it looked at after the fight, so it may be more serious than we think.
Is this a Sergio Martinez kind of thing?
I don't know.
We don't know yet,
and nobody really knows. I think really what's wrong with it, and I guess until they get in there and take a hard look at it. But yeah, I mean, the fact that it's affecting his road work, that seems to be a big deal to me, especially since he faded down the stretch in this fight, man. Jacobs came alive seemingly in the late to middle of the fight. Canelo, I gave him the first 6 of the first 7 rounds. I gave Jacobs the first round and then Canelo the next 6. And then from 8 to 11, I gave to Jacobs. I just thought he did more. I thought he was busier. Now, were they clear-cut rounds? I don't, there was a couple clear-cut rounds for Jacobs in there. But, man, a lot of it depends on what you're looking for, I mean, it depends. I like Jacobs as the aggressor. I like the guy who lands more shots, So I gave him rounds 8 through 11. I thought that was what he did his best work. And to me, the 12th round was really on the table because Jacobs wins that round. He's got a draw, you know. And Canelo came out and closed the show. I thought he won that round. But ironically enough, on 2 of the 3 scorecards that Jacobs won the last round.
Yeah, I gave the last round. Actually, I gave Canelo. I gave Canelo the last round.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's bizarre.
Yeah, right. So, and I was looking at it, and a lot of people, I think it was, it wasn't even. I think the judge. They said the judges from rounds. All 3 judges gave Danny Jacobs 3 of the last 6 rounds. So he definitely did much better at the end of the fight than he did in the beginning. Beeb, you had the fight scored 115 or 114, correct?
Yeah, I had the fight a dead draw.
Yeah, I had the fight 115-113 for Canelo. I just thought at the end, like I said, I thought he pulled it out in the end. And this was one of those things where, like, I couldn't make a case for Danny Jacobs winning the fight, you know, and I really wanted him to win the fight. You know, I gave him, you know, like I said, man, I really like Jacobs. I wanted him to win the fight. I thought he's got a great story and everything like that. But at the end of the day, man, Canelo was just too much for him, I think. He was just too active, too fast. His defense was on point. My God, you couldn't hit that guy with a handful of rice last night, man.
Well, the first 3 rounds I thought were really close. The first 3 rounds could have gone. I actually gave the 3rd round to Jacobs. Mm-hmm. So if you give one of those first 3 rounds to Jacobs, other than the first, then you have the fight a draw too. So. But the question is, how much more of the benefit of the doubt could he have gotten? So, I mean, 8 through 11, yeah. And maybe, I don't know, 2 of the first 3. So, I don't know. It's tough. I think you can make a case for a draw at best, but that's it.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull this up here.
Well, I didn't actually look at the official judges' scorecards. I got to check those out.
Yeah, two of the three judges gave Jacobs the final round.
How they score the third?
Let's see here. Third round Canelo. All 3 judges gave the 3rd round to Canelo.
Okay. What about the first?
First round. 2 of the 3 gave it to Jacobs.
Okay.
So, I mean, the scores, like I said, I think the scores were right on. We may have chosen different rounds to give. But I think by and large, that's how the fight kind of went. You know, depending on what you were looking for. But the one constant that I saw, Manny Castillo said he had Canelo 120-108. The one constant that I saw is in everybody's scoring is that nobody gave Jacobs like a 116-112 score. You know what I mean? It was always, if it was for Jacobs, it was like a draw or by 1 point or something like that. But it was never a, like that kind of cut and dry for Danny Jacobs. And I think that kind of tells a story. You know, like it was like the second Triple G fight where I can make the case for a draw, but as far as Triple G winning that fight, man, I don't know.
Tough, right? Tough.
Yeah, it's tough. It's you're right. It's tough to make that case. You know, but as far as the other way, I mean, can I make it a draw? Yeah, absolutely. I can make a case for a draw. But I'll tell you what, man. I thought it was a good fight. I really did, man. I thought it was a really good fight. Centurion said Manny Castillo's Adelaide Bird. That was like an Adelaide Bird scorecard, exactly. Joe Lopez he gave the first, I guess the third and the first to Jacobs. So yeah, I'm not. If you gave the 3rd round to Jacobs, I'm definitely not hating on that. I gave it to Canelo. I think I gave it the second. Well, yeah, I gave it 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 to Canelo. I think I gave 7 to Canelo, and then of course 8 through 11 to Jacobs. So yeah, man. But it was a good close fight, man. It was a good close fight. After the fight, they were talking about what Canelo wants to do next. He wants some big fights. I know some of the names that were dropped afterwards I think it was in the press conference or something. They were talking about Callum Smith, Demetrius Andrade, Triple G, and who was the other guy they were talking about?
Billy Joe Saunders?
No, it wasn't Billy Joe Saunders.
David Lemieux?
No, wasn't him. I can't remember right offhand.
It's going to be GGG next.
You know what? I have that feeling. I hope not, but I have that feeling.
I think it will be.
I don't hate that fight. I really don't. But I like the Andrade fight a lot.
I 100% hate that fight. I don't want to see it again. We've already seen it. We've already seen it twice. You know.
So you're the type of person that you won't watch a movie if you really like a movie, you won't watch it more than one or two. You won't watch it more than like 2 times or 3 times.
You
only watch
enough. No, I can watch like Caddyshack or something like that like a bunch of times. You know.
Did you watch that? Did you watch that Avengers movie yet? That I sent you?
No. You know what, man? Because Lise really wants to see it. You know, and I was all excited when you sent it to me. I was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" And I started watching a little bit of it, and I told Lisa, I was like, "Hey," I was like, we got the Avengers movie here." I was like, and she was like, "Well, I want to go to the theater and see it." I'm like, "Why?" I was like, "We got a big theater TV. Why would you want to go to the theater and watch it?" I was like, "We got it right here."
I went to the theater and saw it too because I like sitting in the crowd and when the scenes happen, you hear the oohs, the ahs, and I like it.
Yeah.
And then you cry and then when you cry and you see other people cry, you kind of bond with those people that cry. Like it's kind of like a group cry.
A group cry? Do you cry?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I cried twice during the Avengers. There's 2 scenes that made me cry.
Did you really?
I swear to God, I did.
You're so soft.
And the last scene, one of the last scenes that was sad, I cried hard on one of them. It was a hard cry. It was a real hard
Holy
cry.
cow.
Robbie, have you ever cried in a movie?
Not in a movie, no.
Yeah,
no.
See, right, exactly. Not in a movie. See, Robbie's hardcore, man.
You guys are dead inside. You have no soul.
Me and Robbie
You
are
have
men.
no soul.
Hey, Beeb, you're about to lose your man card, man.
Wow.
Whoa!
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna lose my with this.
Jeez.
I'm gonna lose my man card with this gun.
I can't believe it. He lost his case.
Anyway,
oh my God.
I've got a few comments, Eric, on the Canelo situation. First of all, I like Danny Jacobs a lot. I'm glad he put up a competitive fight, but he's done this twice now, and I don't understand why a fighter would do this. When he fought Triple G, and when he fought Canelo, he agreed to the contracts signed. He obviously signed them. They both had weight clauses where you could only hydrate a certain amount, and both times he purposely hydrated higher than what he was supposed to, and he ended up giving Canelo an extra $1 million. Why does a fighter do that when he knows he's going to lose money? That I don't get that.
He's not going to get the fight. They're not going to sign him.
No, you misunderstand me. Why do you sign a contract and agree to it and then violate the terms of the contract?
Because he's not going to get the fight otherwise. He's got to sign that contract.
No, you misunderstand me, Eric. Why would you purposely, when you know you have a rehydration clause, purposely make sure that you go over that so you have to give the other fighter money? That's what I don't understand.
Robbie,
well, because he's big.
I don't think he purposely. I don't think he did it. Oh, I'm sorry, Eric.
I think he totally did it on purpose. And I think
I do too.
Could he have held his weight in? Yeah, he could have just dieted for another day. He's not going to gain 10 pounds of overnight, and he could go in there at 7 a.m. and cut weight a little bit. But not on the day of the fight. I mean, this was a calculated thing, man. This wasn't like, he did this on purpose. I mean, he knew he was coming in over on that second day weigh-in.
No, he's done this twice now.
Well, my point is this: I don't think he goes out and purposely does it just to be spiteful. I think he's doing it because he wants to give people. He wants to give himself the best chance to win number one, and he wants to be the best version of himself. Now, will he be the best version of himself? Not being allowed to rehydrate properly. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's a fucking stupid rule. It's a real dumb fucking rule. Why should you have 2 weigh-ins for one fight?
You know what? I don't mind the rule. I'll be honest with you.
I hate the rule.
Man. I mean, look, he rehydrated last night. The word on the street was he rehydrated, and he was expected to come in the ring at 184 pounds. Let that
one of the
articles.
And this wasn't the IBF's rule because like we talked about yesterday.
This was a complete golden boy rule. This was a
golden. This is a golden. So Robbie, respectfully, I think you may have an argument in the GGG fight, but Golden Boy threw this bullshit stipulation in there themselves because the IBF waives it for unifications. So I think in this case, it's understandable that he said the hell with it because it wasn't being officially enforced as it was in the GGG fight. So it's a different story, I think.
But you handed Canelo an extra $1 million by doing that.
So what? 900,000. So what?
Jason, we just said Golden Boy did that. So start listening. Shut up.
I don't know. To me, now granted, I'm not a fighter, but if I was and I signed the contract, I would want to live up to all the terms.
If I was him, I would do the same. I would do the same thing.
I would have done the same thing too.
I would have done the same thing.
And somehow, Jason's saying it's Canelo, not Golden Boy, and somehow you just know this.
No, it's a Golden Boy thing.
Privy to the Shut up, son.
It's Golden Boy. It's not Canelo.
Right.
But still, it's a bad look. Again, that's just my opinion. And also, you were talking about not wanting to see the GGG fight next. Apparently, the only way DAZN could get him to sign on the dotted line is they had to guarantee him a third fight with Canelo. And one of the articles I read today said, the head of DAZN said, if necessary, we'll pay Canelo extra money to make sure that this fight comes off.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. It shouldn't be. I mean, let's be honest, man. It shouldn't be a hard fight to put together. You know what I mean? It's not a hard fight to put together. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't. But back to the original point, man. Yeah, I don't blame Danny Jacobs for doing what he did. It gives him the edge. It gives him the edge. So what are you going to do?
Look,
listen, Joel Lopez in the chat said it best, man. I think if we're going to do this, man, let's go back to same-day weigh-ins. Let's weigh in the same day of the fight. I
think we should do that in the first place. I don't. Just 48 hours before a fight weighing in, or 24 hours, whatever it is. Come on, get real. You could avoid all this stuff if you go back to the original rules. I have never liked weighing in the day before a fight or 2 days before a fight, whatever it is. You should always weigh in on the same day you fight.
Well, and I get it. I see both sides of it. And they say for the 24-hour weigh-in, it's for health concerns, replaces your fluids or whatever, replaces the fluids in your head and your brain or whatever, and it's supposed to be safer. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, man. I don't know. It's a rough sport. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is.
I get it.
Well, here's the counter argument to that. If they weighed in on the same day, a lot of these guys would be fighting in their real weight classes, not be entering the ring at these, artificial weights that they shouldn't even be entering the ring at.
That's correct.
Should a middleweight really enter the ring at 180 pounds?
No.
Or 185 pounds?
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
These guys should. Jacobs theoretically is really a light heavyweight. You should never really, like boxers back in the day would never really get above 10 pounds their fighting weight usually, except if you were Roberto Duran.
Right.
Look at Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Tommy Hearns when they fought at 160. Do you think they were walking around at 200 pounds?
Absolutely not.
You know what I'm saying? So this just gives fighters an excuse to get real big when they don't have a fight, and to be weight bullies on fight night. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Now we talked about what Canelo might do next. Do you think Jacob stays at middleweight, or does he officially move up to 168?
He's going up to 168.
Beeb, you're good at this. How competitive will he be at 168?
Very competitive, I think.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I think he'll be a better fighter at 168.
Yeah.
Okay.
Much better fighter.
I mean, let's face it, man. He fought the cream of the crop at middleweight, and there's no shame to losing to either one of those guys.
No.
You know, I mean, he fought the cream of the crop there with Triple G, and he fought with Canelo.
Yeah.
And you could argue, that he won both of those fights. I can't make that argument, but I mean, I thought he beat Triple G. I didn't think he beat Canelo, but certainly there's a case to be made. Listen, you can argue it for sure. It was a
well, I've been arguing ever since that fight that he deserves a rematch, but now his body probably won't allow it. He needs to go up to 168 let's see what.
Here's the thing, Robbie. Canelo and Golovkin aren't going to stay at 160 the rest of their careers either, I don't think.
No, they're not.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Golovkin. I wouldn't be surprised after the Canelo fight if GGG and Canelo fight again. I wouldn't be surprised if GGG moves up to super middleweight, and then I would probably think Canelo may fight Andre, and then after the Andre fight, he'd probably move up to super middleweight.
Yeah.
So,
well, he proved in the Rocky Fielding fight, from what you guys said, that he could easily handle himself at that weight. So that makes sense.
I think he can. I think he's really putting on some quality mass. Anyways, he's looking better and better, conditioning wise, with every fight. My only concern is that knee. I'm really concerned about that knee.
Yeah, I don't want Canelo to be another Sergio Martinez. That concerns me. You know.
Yeah, I think so. All right, so that brings us to our very special segment called the Train Wreck of the Week.
Here we go.
Lena?
Chugga, 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 choo, choo.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? She gets better.
I was worried that we were going to get the other one. That was much better.
She gets better every week. I say the voice lessons that she's getting is paying off in spades.
Yep.
The voice of an angel. My little girl. All right, our train wreck of the week. The DAZN announce team. My God. This was bad. And I don't just say this, this was real bad. Hey, Beeb, did you know that Sergio Moro fought Danny Jacobs?
Yeah.
Did you know that? Because he only mentioned it 27 times last night.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys know I was knocked down by Danny Jacobs and he got the same right hand? And
I never heard anyone brag about getting knocked down before in my life.
Yeah, he got knocked out. Like, dude, like you took a knockout. Yeah, I mean, you could take a knockout. All right, that's great.
That's like going on the job interview and saying, you know what, I really deserve this job, but I did get fired from my last 3.
That would be like Paulie Malignaggi bragging about being destroyed by Sean Porter and being beaten by Danny Garcia. Come on.
You know, I mean, like that's the thing, man. It's like it is. It's like you going for a job interview and saying, "Hey, I used to work for FedEx. I got fired after 6 weeks, but I definitely worked there." You know, what? Like, dude, what is wrong with this guy? You know, the other problem on this announced team, Brian Kenny, and his constant Canelo worship. Listen, man, I understand that Canelo's the money guy over at DAZN. I got it. All right, I get it, man. He's the money guy over there. No big deal. And I understand that, and we all know this, if you're the house fighter, that there's going to be a little bit of bias towards you. If you watch Showtime in the 90s when Chavez was in his heyday, Ferdy Pacheco.
And Mike Tyson.
Yeah, Ferdy Pacheco was all over Chavez. He was, I mean, you could tell he was his favorite, you know. And,
right.
It was one of those things. He never really called the fights fair, you know. So if you're the house fighter, man, I get it. There's going to be a certain amount of bias toward the house guy. But Brian Kenny takes this to a brand new level. I mean, just a brand new level, man. He was all over Canelo's shorts the entire time. I mean, it was insane. Oh, Canelo this, Canelo that. The worst part was during the fight, because he didn't seem to be giving Jacobs any credit for anything. In the very first round, I gave Jacobs the first round. he outlanded Canelo 8 punches to 4. I thought he was busier. I thought all he could talk about was how hard that Canelo was punching and this and that. I think he caught him with a punch on the hip that he went nuts over that you could tell. Like,
yeah.
That punch isn't going to hurt you. You know what I mean? It's on your hip. That's not a major, I don't think it's a major deal. You know, it's not like it was in his liver or a vital organ. It was on his hip bone. You know what I mean? So what, you know, it's not a huge deal, you know. But yeah, man, it was insane. It was just bad. Just bad announcing. Now, I know Jason had sent us some stuff via Twitter, some articles via Twitter or whatever, or some links via Twitter. And a lot of people were complaining about the DAZN broadcast last night in the sense that it was freezing, it was kind of ruffled or whatever. It was I tell you what, man, it was, you know, I'm hearing a lot of stories like, you know, he said that thousands are complaining and stuff. And I actually did read a lot that the broadcast was not what it should have been in the sense that, you know, and this is the part where you talk about streaming and stuff like that. With cable, it doesn't matter how many people come on, you still get the bandwidth in the sense that you're still going to get that picture. Yeah. And it's the same way with satellite. Doesn't matter how many people are watching and everything like that. But with the stream, you know, if you're not set up properly, yeah, it does matter. It does matter, you know. I did some research on this, and the WWE has that WWE network where you can watch all that stuff. And in the UFC is the same way, you know, where they have like their live fights and everything like that. Well, if you don't have servers in place, and not to get too technical here, but if you don't have enough servers in place to accommodate all the traffic that you're getting, or you skimp on this in some way, your quality is going to suffer. Now, to be completely fair, I had no problem watching the fight last night. Again, I have an Xbox, I have a PlayStation. I've watched on both of those. We have a smart TV downstairs. We've never had a problem with DAZN. But I will tell you, when I watch it on my phone, when I watch it on my laptop, and I have a pretty quick laptop here, man. It's a Macintosh or whatever, so it's, you know, it's a pretty good one. I have a problem sometimes I have a problem watching on there. It'll buffer. And I've never actually watched it like plugged into Ethernet, but I've always watched it on Wi-Fi. And yeah, for whatever reason, on the computer and on the phone, I have issues. But when I'm watching on my Xbox, which is hardwired, or my PlayStation, which is not hardwired, I don't have an issue. So it could be the processors, and I don't know.
And everybody wants everybody to pay $20 a month for this. Outstanding stuff, DAZN.
$8.99, Robert. Yeah, given quality for life in the chat just said Ethernet connected is the only way to be streaming. You know what? He's right. He's 100% right, because that kind of guarantees you a solid connection. And you know, when you're on Wi-Fi, sometimes it is hit or miss. But if you really want it, yeah, I mean, for sure, that's the best. You know, Jason says tell Robbie to follow DAZN Sucks on Twitter. Robbie, you're not on Twitter, are you?
Yeah, I am, but
no, I know you're on, but I mean, you don't.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Lois manages his Twitter for him.
Manny Gatillo said, "No, Eric, it's $20." Well, it is $20 if you pay each month. If you pay for a year, it's $8.99. It would total out to be $8.99 a month. So that's what I'm referring to. Yeah. I'm sorry. What did you say, Beeb?
I said Lois runs Robbie's Twitter for him.
Yeah, right.
Your blow-up doll runs Robbie's Twitter for him?
Yeah, like I'm going to borrow her from all the way from Boston to come out to California to run my Twitter account.
She can run it.
She's plastic.
She can run it online, Robbie. She doesn't have to go to California.
Yeah, all right.
Lois, don't listen to him.
As soon as he said that, like my wheels are turning. I'm like, oh my god.
Lois, don't listen to him.
Poor Beeb is about to lose. He's about to lose his man card, and now he's become delusional. This is bad.
Watch your mouth, Robbie. You don't make fun of Lois.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god. All right. So let's see here. So on the undercard here, It was actually a pretty. What did you guys think of the undercard? Did you guys like the undercard? I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was.
Okay.
I didn't think it was bad. Thought it was a pretty good undercard here. Let's talk about the co-main here, which was Virgil Ortiz versus Mauricio Herrera, welterweights. Listen, man, Virgil Ortiz came in with a lot of hype behind him. All right, he came in with a lot of hype behind him and everything like that. And he's 12-0. He's got 12 knockouts, you know. And for me, this was a big step up for him. Everybody's seen Mauricio Herrera. We know what he can do. We know that he's a solid fighter. But we know he's a solid fighter back then. We don't know how he is now. You know what I mean? Because it's been a couple of years removed since, you know, I mean, what is it, 2014?
2015 when he fought Garcia, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
So, and he's 38, and Jason in the chat points out he's 38, and he's right. He's 38, so, you know, his best was behind him for sure, but he's never been knocked out. And I don't know that he's ever been down. I don't know that, but I know he's never been knocked out.
No, I think this was a first for everything, Eric.
Virgil Ortiz pasted Mauricio Herrera. Absolutely dismantled him, son. It wasn't even close. At no point was the fight close. He had the performance of the night here, knocking out Mauricio Herrera in 3 rounds. It was vicious. He hit him in the final 3rd round. He iced him with a right hand that just completely boom. He was unconscious on the ropes. He was done. And then he hit him again, and he just fell. He was done. I mean, you could tell as soon as he hit him, Herrera hands just went down, and he just kind of slumped on the ropes, and that was it, man. So, yeah, absolutely, man. So Herrera looked really good. He looked really, really good. So, or not Herrera, but Ortiz, rather, looked really, really good.
Yeah.
So, let me ask you, like, Beeb, did you see, you saw Virgil Ortiz, you saw that knockout. I mean, and I think they're going to move him slow, you know?
Yeah.
They're going to move him slower. Where does he go from here? Would you consider, I mean, you know, obviously they're going to have to put him in with, you know, I think it's time to put him in with a little bit higher, but I thought they were doing that here with Herrera, no question. But where does he go from here? Do they keep feeding him better opponents and that kind of thing and running them up slow? Or is this the kind of guy that you think is ready and then we're going to put him in?
I'd give him maybe one more of these type of fights and then maybe kind of step him up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't like rushing this guy because I think he can be somebody, you know, really good, you know, especially in the welterweights. I mean, and that listen, there's a ton of money over there, you know, in the welterweight division. So I'd like to see him moved along the right way, and he could be a terror in a year or so. So yeah, for sure.
I mean, there's a lot of welterweights out there too, so it's not like he's going to have problems finding somebody to fight. You know.
Would you feed him a guy like Luis Collazo, for example?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. I totally would. Yeah, I think.
Why not give him a guy like Saddam Ali next?
Isn't Ali at 154, Beeb?
No, he's at 147.
I thought he moved up. I could be wrong.
I thought he did too.
Last night, didn't he drop down to wasn't that fight at 147 last night?
You know what? I have the weights on everybody except his. I don't know.
I think he dropped down.
Let me see. Here we go.
I could be wrong.
147.
Yeah, okay. All right.
He dropped down.
147.
Yeah, he dropped it down. So.
Yeah. Why not Saddam Ali? Okay.
Maybe it's Saddam Ali next.
Beeb, as usual, comes up with better ideas than I do. So that's a good idea, Beeb.
Thank you, Robbie.
There you
go. No, I said thank you, Robbie. It's not like I'm trying to compete. I'm not trying to compete against you or anything. I'm just.
No, I know, but no, that makes much more sense.
I mean, we're like the Wonder Twins. You know what I'm saying? We can collaborate and we can make things better.
Okay.
Wonder Twin powers activate.
Let's talk a little bit about Saddam Ali and Anthony Young. Saddam Ali got stopped yesterday, and Saddam Ali. What was the odds on Saddam Ali?
Oh my God, he was like a 23-1 favorite.
It's nuts, right?
That was bananas.
Yeah, it was huge. Got stopped by Anthony Young in the third round. A body shot set this whole thing up. And, listen, I watched it again. It wasn't a great stoppage, I got to be honest. But I didn't see Ali doing too much protesting.
No.
So it is what it is. I didn't think it was a great stoppage, but you know what? I didn't get hit in the body last night by this guy, so I couldn't tell you. But I will tell you this, that the referees asked him a couple of times to show him something, and he just didn't. He was not punching back. So, yeah, he wasn't in too much, he was just getting hit. He was getting hit, man. So, and he wasn't fighting back. It didn't seem like, like I said, was the stoppage a little bit early? Yeah, probably, but I don't know, man. He didn't, there was no real urgency there. He was hurt, though. He was for sure he was hurt. So, Saddam Ali, man, goes down last night. Joseph Diaz Jr. and Freddie Fonseca. Diaz stopped Fonseca in the 7th round and now sets up a showdown with Tevin Farmer. It looks like those two were jawing at each other. That's a good fight. That's a real good fight. Beeb, you like that fight?
Yeah, that's a good fight.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
No, I don't hate it either, man. Lamont Roach Jr. versus Jonathan Okendo. This is another one where, Brian Kenny kept calling Okendo, he kept calling him Fonseca. So, shows you how much he was dialed in last night.
Man, you need to get the hell out of the boxing business if you don't know who you're supposed to be talking about. Jeez.
Robbie, give him the old, he better find something else to do.
Well, no, that is horrible. I didn't even have to watch it, but my God, you got to know if you're going to be at ringside, you got to know all the fighters you're going to be covering that night. That's pathetic.
You got to have the bout sheet in front of you, right?
Yeah.
When you're on everybody gets a copy of the bout sheet, so I know they get a copy of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they should have notes in front of them and everything like that, so you know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I don't know what he was doing last night. But they were in Vegas, so who knows what he was doing. Lamont Roach wins by unanimous decision by the scores of 96-93 and 97-92 twice. Here's what I will tell you, man. I know we were watching this fight, and the first thing my dad said to me was he didn't like the way Lamont Roach looked. He didn't like his body language. He didn't like he looked like he didn't want to be there. And honestly, he fought like he didn't want to be there. You know what I mean? So I tell you what, man, I thought that Okendo won this fight. I was shocked when I heard the scores. But again, Lamont Roach, Golden Boy guy. So what are you going to do? All right, let's move on to ESPN. Arthur Beterbiev versus Radovoj Kolodzic. Robert, did I say that right?
That's as close as I could get.
Listen, it's close enough. You're never going to hear from that guy again, all right?
That's correct.
Wins by 5th round TKO. He brutalized this guy, man. This was rough. Listen, man. And Kolodzic, the crazy part is Kolodzic, he was in there. He was in the fight. I thought for sure he was in the fight. And, but he wasn't winning rounds. Don't get me wrong. He wasn't winning rounds per se, but he was doing okay. He was clipping Beterbiev, but Beterbiev just wasn't, he was taking those punches really well. It's almost like he didn't have a lot of power behind him. And ends up finishing him in the 5th round. Robert, what was your assessment on this fight?
They should have stopped it at the end of the 4th. That 5th round shouldn't have even taken place. He was done after 4. And it's time to give Beterbiev what he wants. He asked for a unification fight. Let's make it happen. Let's put him in against Sergey Kovalev and let's see what happens with that, because these two, apparently they don't like each other. Apparently they fought twice in the amateurs. Beterbiev beat him twice in the amateurs. and after every fight, he's always called him out. It's time to give the guy what he wants. And I think Sergey Kovalev could be right for the picking. And let's see that fight happen this fall. I know Kovalev's got a fight coming up in either June or July, but after that, let's put these two together.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. Also, on the undercard for the IBF Junior Bantamweight title, Robert, our favorite title, Jerwin Anacahas versus Ryuichi Funai. Let me tell you, I told you guys a long time ago that he's one of my favorite fighters, man. I'm talking about Anacahas here. That he's one of my favorites. I always, if he's on TV, I'm going to watch him. You know, just the way it is. He's must-see TV to me, man. Anacahas wins by TKO at the beginning of the 7th round. This was tough to watch. And I tell you what, I like Anacahas a lot. He demolished this guy. I mean, from start to finish, this guy couldn't get off the ground. Funai, I'm speaking of, could not get off the ground. Anacahas just mauled him. Hit him with clean shot. I mean, he hit him. It was almost like every shot was just clean.
Yep.
He if I was his corner, I mean, they made the right decision by calling this fight because that guy couldn't even see. The doctor actually called this fight. I think his corner could have stopped this fight a little bit earlier. Robert?
Absolutely. Well, what I didn't understand is before the fight even started, here I'm talking about Andre Ward, who's one of the best fighters in history, called Anacahas the weakest fighter in this division.
Yeah, right.
How can you? I mean, you're working for the network that's covering his fights, and you come right out and say that? What the hell is your agenda? You talk about Brian Kinney. Why would Andre Ward say such a thing when he's supposed to be the expert boxing guy for that network, and he calls this guy the weakest champion in that division? Really? He didn't look like the weakest champion in that division. I couldn't get over that. You know what? I don't know if it's possible because I'm not really sure what's left at 115. But one day I would like to see him and Inoue fight at 118. What do you think, Eric?
That's amazing. Yeah, I would too. And as far as him being the weakest, I couldn't disagree more. I think he beats Cal Yafai, the WBA champion, and I think he beats Juan Francisco Estrada. I really do. I think he beats him. Anacahas is no joke, man. I'm telling you, he's the goods.
Yeah, but what did you think, Eric? Because I'm sure did you watch this?
I watched it, but I didn't watch the commentary. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I could not believe it when he said that. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, I didn't hear that comment, but I can't. Listen, man, I would rather have it that way than have it like Brian Kenny. I mean, if those were Andre Ward's true feelings, hey, then that's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'd rather have it that way than have it than have it like the Brian Kenny. Where he's all over the guy's shorts.
It's just his opinion, Robbie. He didn't say anything disparaging about the guy.
No, but the weakest guy in the division. Come on, really? He sure didn't look like it last night.
And listen, Funai, and for anybody questioning Funai, listen, Funai was a #1 ranked contender for the IBF.
It was a mandatory.
Yeah, he's the mandatory for the IBF. He's also ranked #3 in the WBO. So, I mean, he wasn't bad. Was he Estrada or Rungvisai?
No.
But I'd like to see Rungvisai Anacahas. I think that's a good fight too. Him versus any top guy.
Yeah, let's get that on. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
Those are solid fights, man. That guy, he's a killer. That guy is just an absolute killer, I think. All right, let's talk about the upcoming fights, and then we're going to go to the phones here.
Right.
On May 10th. Robert, is that Friday? That's got to be Friday, no?
That's a Friday, yeah. That's the Showbox.
On Showtime from Corona, California, Robbie's old stomping grounds, Ruben Villa versus Luis Alberto Lopez, 10 rounds featherweights, and Michael Dutchover versus Ramon Mascarena, 8 rounds lightweights. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Saturday a lot more than Friday.
Yeah, I think I'll pass on Friday. Now, May 10th on DAZN. Friday. Lee Wood versus Ryan Doyle, 12 rounds for Wood's Commonwealth featherweight title. Jordan Gill versus Enrique Tinoco, 10 rounds featherweights. Listen, I think this is what is this? This has got to be a match. Is this a matchroom card?
I'm assuming so because it's in the UK, right?
Yeah, Nottingham, England. I don't know.
That's got to be Eddie Hearn special.
Yeah, you can say that again. Yeah, I'll be looking at the results on that one.
Friday doesn't look like a good day.
Yeah. Also on May 10th, the UFC Fight Pass from Beeb's old town right here, Springfield, Mass. Abraham Nova versus Mario Esquivel, Sayal Lozano. Try saying that 10 times. 10 rounds, junior lightweights, and Carlos Gongora versus Damian Ezekiel Bonelli, 8 rounds, middleweights. So there you go. I wonder if that's a Roy Jones card.
That probably is, yeah.
I don't know.
Could be.
Let's see what else. Nothing more on
Saturday is going to be a much better day.
For sure. All right. May 11th in Tucson, Arizona. Saturday on ESPN. Miguel Berchelt versus Francisco Vargas. It's a rematch, 12 rounds for Berchelt's WBC junior lightweight title. It's going to be a good fight. This is going to be a good fight, man.
Yes.
Emmanuel Navarrete on the undercard versus Isaac Dogbo. A rematch, 12 rounds for Navrate's WBO junior featherweight title. I think Navarrete ices him again, son. I don't think Dogbo's
look, I think both rematches here, we're going to have the same result in both. I really do. I don't see any changes in either fight.
Said the repeat of revenge card right there.
Yeah.
And on, let's see here, May 11th, Saturday, from Fairfax, Virginia, on Fox. This is a good fight.
Yeah.
Man. Jared Hurd versus Julian Williams, 12 rounds for Hurd's IBF and WBA junior middleweight title. Listen, I like J-Rock a lot. He ain't getting past Hurd, though.
No way.
Hurd's the best
This
fighter in the division.
This is his hometown fight. Julian, you're going to get ice, son. You're going to get ice.
I don't see him getting past him. Mario Barrios on the undercard here against Juan Jose Velasco, 10 rounds junior welterweights. Matt Korobov versus Emmanuel Alim, 10 rounds middleweights. Ahmed El Biale versus Jaime Solorio, 8 rounds light heavyweights. And let's see what else we got, if anything. No, that's it. That's it for this weekend.
No, I like the Saturday cards a lot more than Friday.
I do too. Beeb?
Yes, sir.
What do we? I never see you wearing black. What is that? What do you got on there?
This is my Mega Fit Meals T-shirt.
How about that?
That I told people. Look at this. I'm going to show you. Look at the sleeve.
Look at that sleeve.
And I'm going to show you the back real quick.
Look at that.
Well, this is a perfect segue to play the commercial.
Where I'll be breaking that third wall again.
Right.
So this is the T-shirt that I'm going to be sending everybody who buys 12 Mega Fit Meals when they click that link in the description box. Mega Fit Meals, the meal delivery service that I use, that 4-time Mr. Olympia Jay Cutler uses, made with fresh ingredients, tastes great, makes you feel great, great to eat before and after a workout, will definitely revitalize you and make you feel energized and invigorated when you eat these meals, because they're all portioned out perfectly. They have great macros and they taste really good, and they don't taste like normal health food type meals. They actually taste like, really good meals that maybe you'd make for yourself at home, or your parents would make for you when you're growing up. You had home cooked meals. That's how these are. These are really good home cooked meals with all natural ingredients, no preservatives or additives, and it really tastes good. So, like I said, click that link in the description box, and I will send you a free T-shirt if you buy 12 meals.
Gonzalo Ayala says, Beeb's looking like Eddie and Chapo Reynoso in the tight T-shirts.
This is a large, man. I mean,
Beeb got a medium.
No, it's a large. It's a large. You sure it's a large?
Beeb's got Victor Conte on the payroll.
No, Beeb's a clean guy. He's getting in shape, man.
I want to see his VADA test, son. That's what I want to see. I want to see his VADA test. He's trying to get ripped up like Robbie, man.
Man, hit that fucking like button. That's right.
Was it Joe Lopez said, did he pass the VADA test?
I ate 3 MegaFit meals today. This morning I had
you ate them in one sitting.
I had one for breakfast. I had the steak and fries. The steak, it's Angus steak. It's so tender. It's beautiful. And I had these fries, but they were baked and they were made with red bliss potatoes, but they were cut into fries and they're seasoned with like garlic, onion, paprika, and salt, pepper. They taste so good. Then I went to the gym. Then I came back and I had the chicken, sweet potatoes, and green beans. And then I had the steak. I had another steak meal. I had the steak, the Southwestern steak. It had the steak, the black beans, rice, and pico gallo and the guacamole. It tasted so good, man.
I gotta say, man, they do look good.
They're incredible. I'm gonna buy the protein. They have a protein cheesecake. I'm gonna buy that next. I'll do a review. I'm gonna do a review on the protein cheesecake on live on the air.
How about this? How about you smash the protein cheesecake in your face? Because all the when you do the pie bets, your pie bets, I got to be honest with you, suck. They leave a lot to be desired. Because it's like a teaspoonful of whipped cream that you spread on your nose, and then like act so upset. Let me tell you what. When I pay a bet, son. I got a whole pie smashed in my face, son. Bet, son.
You remember the day when I took one of those Drake's those mini apple pies, and I asked you if I could use this for the pie bet?
Yeah, I did. And I was like, no, you
can't
use that.
And you shut that down like on the quickness. That's hilarious.
Mark C. on Skype. If you can hear me, it's your time, baby.
Mike C., kick it in, baby.
What's up?
What's up, Irish Isis? What's up, Irish Isis? Sounds like an angel.
Welcome to the show, man.
Cut it, Robert.
What's up, everything's great, babe. Everything's great. I had the best scorecard in the world last night. I scored a 238 to 218 Jacobs somehow because I watched the fight twice and I was drunk. So that's the start with. Rewatched it again. I had it 115. It was.
Is it? I think it's yeah. We're. Let's see here. Mark, can you hear me? All right, Mark C. Yeah, Mark C. And you know what I think? You know what I think happens with Skype is that we get overloaded with calls, and then it just do. You know what I mean? It just goes south. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So
I thought he sounded good.
Yeah, I thought he sounded great.
You hear the audio screw up?
No,
he sounded good at the first part. But you guys didn't hear the audio go south?
How many people are on Skype right now?
Quite a few. Gonzalo, can you hear me? Nope, I guess he can't. All right, let's see if he's on now. Gonzalo, can you hear me? Nope, he's not on either.
Nope.
Let's see if I can get him. I don't know. Yeah, the Skype is wonky. I don't get it. Sometimes it works great, and sometimes not so much.
Because we were able to hear him. I don't know.
I thought he sounded good.
Yeah.
All right. 7:06.
Mr. Jason. He's a fucking mental case is what he is.
Oh, Robert.
You guys have to bring the Mariana Rivera of Colors in to rescue you from the Skype disaster, huh? I think it starts off good, just like Eric said, but it gets glitchy like fucking 30 seconds later. You know, it just starts glitching everywhere. I don't know why. Maybe.
Yeah, but I don't think
Also,
I don't think
somebody.
I don't think it's us because when Georgie Skyped in, he sounded perfect.
No, I think it is. I think at this point,
Yeah,
it is.
maybe.
I think there's too many people on.
Maybe sometimes somebody's calling in, their tablets keep going off and shit. You know, you have to keep your tablet on. Sometimes that can make it glitchy too. I used to call in the other places on Skype too, with iPad. It used to be glitchy sometimes, but oh well.
Yeah, so it's just the way the Skype is basically. I don't know. We'll figure it out somehow.
Danny versus Herrera. Yeah, the Danny versus Herrera fight was in 2014 March, so it's probably been like 5 years.
Oh, okay, 14. All right, I thought it was 15. I don't know why.
Yeah, I just went. Heyman hasn't taken Danny to Puerto Rico since. So.
Nope, he sure hasn't. He barely got out of there with his life, man.
Yeah, I don't. If Danny fights like he has never done a fucking foot drill in his life. You know, his feet are fucked up. That's why he lost to Herrera. Still flat-footed, but Jacobs, man, he started slow like he always does. He kind of reminds me of Tim Bradley. You know, the first fight with Manny Pacquiao. Tim Bradley didn't really do shit. He was just fucking circling around, slapping his punches. That's exactly what WT reminds me of. But then he gets mad and he starts calling for the fight to happen, and then he'll land a couple of good shots. But that's all he did. He probably won like 3 rounds, 4, if you want to be generous. I don't know where people get 5 rounds for him, but 3 or 4 rounds was the most. Did you guys watch Jojo Diaz? I didn't watch that fight. How did Jojo Diaz look?
He looked good. He looked really good.
Yeah. Him versus Farmer. I think Jojo would be Farmer's best opponent if that happens next, wouldn't he? Farmer hasn't fought anybody.
Well, I think that'll be a good fight because I like both guys.
Yeah, they're good. Jojo was in the Olympic team with Errol Spence. He tweeted a picture with Spence and all the crew with Jose Ramirez and stuff.
And I thought Jojo did a good job with Gary Russell. He didn't win the fight, but I thought it was competitive.
He just gassed out. If he had more stamina, he could. It was a pretty close fight.
Yeah,
he's a pretty good fighter. I was gonna say Virgil Ortiz versus Jesse Vargas is the perfect next fight. They're both on the zone. 47 is the best. What do you guys think about that fight? Jesse versus Virgil.
That's another good one.
It's a good fight.
That's another good one. Yeah.
There's no danger of Virgil getting hurt.
What's that?
Good. Go ahead. There's no danger of Virgil getting hurt, at least in that fight. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think so either. But I really like this guy Ortiz, man.
Yeah.
He's solid.
I've been telling you guys for months, like whenever I call him, keep it out because I always see him on Ellie Sekbek's videos. Like interviewed him hundreds of times. That's the only way I know him. You know. He lives there at RGBA on their property in the house there. So he's a good kid. He plays guitar and shit. He's playing metal, playing Mexican music. So he's like he does everything. He speaks a couple of languages. He's a good kid.
He plays a lot of.
And he said in the post fight that piano and piano, fucking guitar. He should fucking play that shit to his ring entrance. That'd be kind of cool. Why not? Cool. Yeah. Why not? Change it up a little bit. He was playing Metallica on ES News, but he said on the post fight he might get a title fight this year in Dallas, so that'd be cool. I'm sure can help for him.
Hang on.
He's fucking.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, if you can hear me, just guys, stop talking for a second here. For everybody out there, for whatever reason, Skype is giving us issues, so do not call into Skype, okay? All right, Jason, go ahead.
Just shut it off.
Okay. I thought you wanted to try.
Skype, man. It'll save you some trouble.
I thought you wanted to try Gonzalo. I wanted to see if it was Gonzalo. If Gonzalo sounded better than the other guy.
No more.
I think Hooker versus Virgil is a really good fight. I think Virgil's going to beat him because Hooker didn't look that great again. In the what was that fight he had in Oklahoma? What was that name? What was that kid? Robbie?
Wasn't it Branchik he fought?
No. The Mexican kid from Oklahoma.
I can't remember. I can't remember who he fought.
Hooker was down. Remember?
Yeah.
He got dropped, but then he came back. It was a really good fight. But I think Virgil just hits really hard, and he's been talking about he fucking spars Jose Ramirez and Mikey Garcia like all the time. That's why he's so sharp and good, you know, because these are the kind of guys he's sparring all the time. And I think about a guy like Thurman. You know, he's all the way out in fucking Florida. why he always looks shitty is because he never gets good sparring like this. He's not sparring guys like Mikey and Jose and fucking Josecito. He spars guys like Edner Cherry. That's why Thurman always looks fucking rusty when he comes to fight. And that's why I don't like these guys like staying in fucking Florida, because there's no good sparring over there. They should all be in fucking Vegas and LA, like Danny Garcia. Imagine how much better he would be if he was getting good sparring every week or in camp. You know, these guys aren't getting great sparring.
There's a lot of good.
Cut it, Robert.
There's a lot of good guys, Jason, in Philadelphia that he could get work from. I'm talking about Danny Garcia. So, but for whatever reason, he does his own thing.
Maybe Jaron Ennis. I don't think there's that many people. Jaron Ennis, maybe. Who else? Right? Jaron Ennis is probably the only world-class Philly guy. When is he coming back, man? Jaron Ennis needs to fight. When is he coming back? Is he still in a promotional dispute?
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, his promoter sued him or something for some kind of injunction. Also, did you guys read that USA Today article? Robbie, did you read it?
Which one are you talking about, Jason?
Google it. DAZN and customer complaints. Google it. They wrote a really big article with like fucking screenshots of like dozens of tweets from people complaining and shit. People saying that production is like a high school level school player or something, and keeps buffering. And people said they took the money out of my account, but I can't even access my account. Like dozens of tweets like that. So I don't think.
Well, that's why eventually these fights are going to have to move back to TV. I think.
That's what happened in Canada. Remember, they had the NFL ticket, and NFL had to cancel their deal and give them back to the fucking cable providers. They said, "Hell no."
Oh yeah.
Too long.
Yeah.
But boxing is different. Boxing is not as smart as fucking NFL. They're gonna keep fucking winning their sport. And this is gonna make our sport even smaller if you're on a fucking app. People are acting like, "Oh, DAZN's great for boxing." DAZN's not great for boxing. If people have to pay a little bit more for pay, but they know they're gonna get the fucking fight clear without buffering, they're gonna pay for it. And I was looking at the Google Trends, like this fight, I think Spence versus Mikey was trending even higher than this fight. So, that just shows you why TV is more important. And this fight is way bigger. This fight is more important than Mikey versus Spence, I thought.
Look, if somebody created a 24-hour boxing channel and it was a subscription service and we had to pay for it on our TV, I'd do it in a minute.
Yeah. Me too. Why not? We pay for Showtime, and Showtime, we don't watch Showtime at all. Just for. Also, guys, do you know what is on Billions tonight? The new episode of Billions at 9 p.m. Do you guys know that?
No.
Yeah, they're both of the good shows are on Sunday night. That's why. That's why I record one and watch one.
I guess that's the part of Wilder's new deal. That's why he didn't go to DAZN. Showtime probably promised him some extra push. Some extra money for Brazil and spot on Billions and shit. That's how they sweeten the deal. I guess that's the advantage of a TV network. Everybody should tune in 9 p.m. man. Let's show some support to the fucking champ. Don't be little bitches. Oh, also, guys, tonight on Fox Sports 11 p.m. Eastern, it's Fox PBC Countdown. So they're going to be showing behind the scenes of Hurd versus Williams, like their home life and gym life. So check that out. And 12 Inside PBC Boxing Show. So Hurd will be on there too, with Mars and Porter. These shows are good. Set your DVR, Beeb, 11 to 12. 11 to 12:30 on PBC. Fox Sports 1.
Okay, Jason.
Are you joking, Beeb?
No, I said
Lois over there?
I said okay, Jason.
Yeah, no, we'll get it all set up. Thanks.
Lois, set the DVR, please. Thank you.
I'll let you guys Skype callers. Peace, guys.
Yeah. All right, see ya.
All right, and now from Jason, this is so ironic that we have Jason calling, and the next call we go to is 901 in Memphis. Is this the Dog Man?
Hey, yo.
Yeah, it is.
What's going on? How y'all brothers doing today?
D to the A to the Z to the N.
Yeah, Mr. DAZN. DAZN. And I'm just happy to say DAZN is here to stay. And yesterday, DAZN took over the world. Last night, DAZN took over boxing. And for the last caller who's calling in, a PBC fanboy, I just want to happily say pay-per-view is dead. Fuck PBC. DAZN is here to stay. That's why DAZN took Canelo away from Showtime. DAZN took everybody. DAZN took Devin Haney away from Showtime. Devin Haney is a part of DAZN now, and he's a millionaire. Do I have to go through the list of DAZN fighters? Should I go through the list? Canelo, Anthony Joshua, Triple G, Usyk, Devin Haney, Demetrius Andrade, who's undefeated, who beat Keith Thurman in the amateurs. Keith Thurman, a PBC bum who's been ducking people, taking injuries. Let's talk about Jaime Munguia, undefeated, 21 years old. The next Julio Cesar Chavez, the Mexican star. I can keep going. Let's talk about Daniel Jacobs, who just made $15 million yesterday. $15 million. And he's talking about support the champion, Deontay Wilder, when Daniel Jacobs made $15 million, more than Deontay Wilder ever made in his life. So you fucking PBC fanboys need to shut the fuck up. Let me keep going. Kevin Farmer, champion, world champion. He's a millionaire. Do I have to keep going? Ryan Garcia, over 2 million followers on Instagram, more than Deontay Wilder, your so-called heavyweight champion who's ducking Anthony Joshua, the cash cow. Okay, let's keep going. What about Dimitri Bivol? What about Bivol, the light heavyweight champion who came from HBO? Yeah, what about him, the Russian champion? Sergey Kovalev has been ducking this guy. Sergey Kovalev, who's been knocked out before, who Andre Ward stopped, who Alvarez stopped. You guys keep selling me dreams, man. You PBC guys keep selling me dreams. Let's keep going. What about the World Boxing Super Series with Regis Prograis, an American world champion fighting out of New Orleans, who's undefeated? Some people compare him to a young Roberto Duran. Name another fighter who's being compared to Roberto Duran. Okay, let's keep going. Maurice Hooker. What about the WBO world champion at 140, Maurice Hooker, who's undefeated, fighting out of Dallas, Texas? These people say they know boxing, but they don't know shit. They just watch YouTube and think they know it. I've been watching boxing since a kid. Let me keep going.
So,
Jesse Vargas.
Dog man, let me jump in here. Let me ask you a quick question.
Oh, he's flowing, he's flowing, he's flowing. He's flowing.
Okay.
You just robbed him. You just robbed him. You just robbed him.
Virgil Ortiz, who had the knockout of the night fighting on the zone, a future Mexican star. I'm listening, Eric. What did you say, Eric? I'm sorry.
So, all right, let me ask you a question here. Did you have any problems with the stream last night?
Not at all. I loved it. It was the biggest fight of the year.
Now, let me ask you a question. How do you watch?
Versus Mikey Garcia. Better than Earl versus Mikey Garcia. More competitive. Danny Jacobs won more rounds than Mikey Garcia did. So you telling me he did it?
No, what I'm saying is, like, how did you watch the fight?
On DAZN. I watched it on my PlayStation.
Okay. Yeah, so see, he's got a PlayStation. He watched it on there. I watched it on the Xbox. I think that the problem comes in, like, if you're watching this thing on, like like I said, if you're watching on a laptop or your phone, I always experience the buffering. But honestly, whenever I watch it on, like, my Xbox or the PlayStation, I never have that. Yeah, I never have that either. Now, is your Xbox wireless or hardwired?
I'm loving DAZN. I'm hooked wireless. I'm just loving DAZN. I never experienced any problems. So, I mean, all these people complaining about pay-per-view. What about pay-per-view? Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia, a one-sided fight, a fucking shutout, and people paying $100 for that fight. What about DAZN putting on better fights? More stars. Errol Spence was at the Canelo fight. He was at the DAZN fight. I didn't see Canelo at Errol Spence fight. They're fans of Canelo. They're fans of DAZN. These people trying to come to DAZN. Everybody trying to see what DAZN is doing. That's why Triple G signed with DAZN. That's why Devin Haney signed with DAZN. That's why Demetrius Andrade came to DAZN. Come on, man. I mean, if anybody knows anything about boxing, they will be thankful for DAZN and thankful to Eddie Hearn. I mean, because Showtime is a piece of shit. Showtime paid Floyd Mayweather. They paid Floyd Mayweather all that money. Let's be real. They gave Mayweather a big contract, and all those other fighters, what have they been doing? I mean, since Mayweather retired, pay-per-view is dead. Until someone shows me a million pay-per-view buys. I mean, Canelo had a million pay-per-view buys.
Hey, dog man, we got to get you a job with DAZN, man.
Cut it.
No, I'm listening. Listen to me. Canelo and Triple G had 1 million pay-per-view buys. Okay, now they're on DAZN. Name some other fight that's doing those numbers. That's doing 1 million. Name one. Name a fight. I'm listening.
Can't do it, dog man. Can't do it.
Okay, so since pay-per-view is dead, all the big fighters are on DAZN. So Deontay Wilder has to come to DAZN, but he's ducking like he's always been doing, like he's been ducking Dylan White, like he's been ducking AJ. The list goes on. I mean, Deontay Wilder, until he comes home to DAZN, I don't want to talk about that bum. Okay, let's talk about real fighters. All the real fighters on DAZN. Every real fighter is on DAZN. What about the real fighters, Demetrius Andrade, who called out Charlo? What about that? Who called out Earl Spence?
Hey, dog,
Tell
man.
me about this.
Would it be safe to say that you're a fan of DAZN?
Well, I'm a fan of DAZN, of course, but I'm a
like I said, we got to get him a job with DAZN, man.
Cut it.
DAZN. Eddie Hearn is the best promoter in the world. He's paying fighters the most money. What about Eddie Hearn taking care of fighters? What about that? What about Deontay Wilder lying on Eddie Hearn? What about Steven Espinoza never showing a receipt for that $50 million offer? We're still waiting for that receipt. Where's that at? We speaking facts. Deontay Wilder is ducking.
We love it, man. We love it, but we're going to get running, all right, man?
Dog man, what about Mega Fit Meals? Say something nice about Mega Fit Meals.
Yeah, what about that? Why don't you run on that? He hung up.
Oh, shit. I was going to...
He's going to be our spokesman, man.
I got to get him a job, man. We
got to call up DAZN and get him a job, man. You talk about somebody that could sell something. There's a perfect guy that could do that. Wow.
I got to get him a job, man. I got to hire him, man.
Yeah, he's not playing around, man.
Showtime sucks. It's like, really? Good God. Okay. What do we have next?
Just a reminder here, if you're Skyping in, please don't. We're having some issues with the audio today, so we don't want to, and when it causes issues with the audio, it causes issues across the board. So please do not call into Skype. Gonzalo Ayala, I'm talking to you. All right, let's go to, is 508 Georgie?
Yes.
From this day, you'll be my new fool.
There you go. From Rikers.
What's up, Georgie?
What's happening, Georgie? What's the word?
Yo.
What's going on, Georgie?
Talk to Robbie a little bit. Robbie, let's talk about some dragons and White Walkers. What's up with that fucking Game of Thrones? You watching that?
Absolutely.
Robert, how did they get the dragon out of the water?
You know what? I haven't figured that out yet, Eric.
You still stuck on that shit, Eric?
Listen.
You still stuck on that?
I'm stuck on it. You know what else I'm stuck on, Georgie? And I've got like 3 smart guys on the panel. All right? Listen, here's what else I'm stuck on. How did Ariel get past all that security and stab that dude? How'd she get past all those guys and get to the Night King? Undetected.
She's a mini.
I don't even care, man. I don't even care about that shit. I just tried to break some ice with Robbie and shit.
I can tell you how she did it. I can tell you how she did it.
Oh my God, here we go.
Because she has the skills of the many-faced god. She knows how to
get out of here.
She's probably disguised as a White Walker going through all those bushes and stuff. Or she's probably disguised as one of the Walking Dead people. You don't know that.
What is she, Clark Kent? She changed that fast? Come on.
You don't know the skill level she has.
You're better.
Look at that move. Look at that move she had.
Come on, son.
Look at the move she had with the knife. Look at the drop the knife. Boom. Boom. Look at that. Look at this. Look at the knife move.
Dwayne M said, I'm not going to stand for any disrespect of Game of Thrones, Eric.
Put the camera on me so I can show you the knife move.
You're tearing up Georgie's call here. That's not nice, guys.
You even missed it. You missed it.
On that note, Robbie, And on that note, Roby, we gotta let the people out there know why the United States is falling in every fucking aspect of life. Right there. Game of Thrones shit. It's cooler than shit. China passing everybody the fuck up. Russia already in Venezuela, and here we are here talking about what? The goddamn Game of fucking Thrones. Right the fuck on. Let's talk some boxing here, Liz, man. Cut the bullshit. Hey, yo, what's close? I'm not mad. I had that shit like 112, 116, because Canelo, I mean,
yeah.
Jacob didn't do enough. But I ain't mad about no 113 and shit. 115-ish, 113-ish, that's not bad. Was that close? But I saw Canelo win, you know?
Yeah.
Couple rounds. Not much. So that was good. Georgia, I mean, the song is bringing it. It ain't no denying, bro. How the fuck you gonna beat that shit for 20 beans? Even if you don't sign for the whole year, just the month that you want to see the two big fights, that's $40. How you ain't saving? Man, come on. All that hate got to stop already. The song is here to stay. They got mad other fucking sport to watch besides boxing. But as a boxing fan, you got to have it. Bottom line, no more hating on that shit.
Well, hey, why don't you talk to Robert about that? Robert's holding out.
Robbie's still on that smoke signal shit. He don't want to unite us in the fucking 21st century.
Let's not dogpile Robbie now. Let's not dogpile him. Let's not dogpile him.
How dare you?
It's okay, Robbie.
Robbie, man.
I'm going to take care of Robbie. I'm going to hook him up.
Everybody out there, support the channel. Smash that fucking like button.
Yeah!
With that low energy in that motherfucker.
Man, hit that fucking like button.
Yeah!
Yeah, shout out to JoJo. JoJo did his thing. Yo, there was mad action. Everybody was getting laid the fuck out. I knew let me talk about Saddam Ali. Beeb, please. Beeb. Like 2 shows ago, I heard you talking about what Monguilla did to Saddam Ali. First and foremost, Saddam Ali, it ain't shit.
Whoa!
Let's start with that.
Got a family.
Monguilla ain't shit either. Another one.
Got a family.
Listen, Chris Algieri is coming back. Another one. All these names, they're C-level plus at best.
C-level?
We got to keep it in the back burner.
C-level?
We can't be putting these people on this pedestal that they don't belong, man, and confusing
Wow. C-level. Guys that are walking in and out of Planet Fitness, man. That's what you're calling them. C-level.
Maybe because like we got amnesia, we got to go back. Where the Saddam Ali myth came from? Where it came from? Came from that one from Cotto. The same Cotto who beat Maravilla Martinez, who got beat on Argentina. He had one leg already. And all this compound of fucking bullshit goes back into history. This fucking mafia riding this shit on your ass. And we want to put these people where they don't belong. And that's how we got 12 to fucking 100 dog shit.
Wow.
Listen, I wish at 44 years old I run into a couple of these guys. Just to put hands on them. These people is not what they make the healers of the healers. Monguilla and shit. Listen, shout out to fucking the fight doctor the other day. He go in and he went against the laws of boxing in the United States. Something that you guys will never do. The fucking people out there who got podcasts and deal with the media, you know, they will never go against anybody with a Mexican name. Because this is the motherfucking showing up and dropping the money. But yo, the fight doctor is right. Canelo will be babysitting for a long ass time, dodging away with Jesus, Mike, and Joseph. All this bullshit got to come out to the light. And that's on the positive note. It's mad that fucking light button.
That's right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, come on, guys. Give me some likes here.
Listen.
We were 2 in the morning last night. We're on again at 7 p.m. today. It's now 8:19.
Yo, they like 60 niggas watching this sand and we only got 30 some ups. It's ridiculous. Man, that shit doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah.
this
Your phone's breaking up, Georgie.
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up here, Georgie.
Oh, you are hated too. Robbie hating on me too now, huh?
You sound like
So Robbie to go watch that brown sugar.
Well, the dragon's pulling him underwater because he put down Game of Thrones.
Please, Robbie.
Listen, everybody out there support, donate, go to the official sponsor, get the fucking meal. Damn out.
All right, Georgie. There we go. All right, let's go to area code 503. Robert, that's in Portland, isn't it?
Yeah, Oregon, you got it.
Yeah. 503, you're live.
Hey, yo, what up, Eric? What up, Beeb? What up, Ringside Robbie over there, hanging.
Hey, what's up?
Doing it for the West Coast, you know what I mean? And hey, real quick, man, I just want to say I'm fucking excited. You know, Canelo pulled it through. The Mexicanos did it. This is our weekend, Cinco de Mayo weekend, representing for Mexico. Puro pinche mexicano, puro pinche huevos.
Arriba la raza! Órale! Órale!
Oh, here we go. Okay.
You can't hate on the kid. You can't hate on the kid now, Beeb. You know what I mean? I've been listening to you for a long time, even with the other show, and I know you used to hate on Canelo all the time, Beeb, but it's all good. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I heard you picking Canelo for this, this fight and everything. So you know what I mean? And Viva Mexico!
I picked him this time. I picked Canelo this time.
See ya.
Yeah, that's right. You hated on Canelo all the time. That's right, Beeb.
People used to bury me because I would pick against him all the time, and then when he would
win,
I
remember those days. Wow.
I would get destroyed for like 2 hours straight. People
Portland
just dump.
Just represented, son. Portland just represented. Took a giant dump all over the Beeb, son. Took a giant dump all over the Beeb.
It's like Coach C when Coach C takes you out.
Son, nobody takes me out, son. He just ripped you. For all that Canelo hate, come back to bite you, didn't it? Say it.
Coach wears you out like yesterday's news.
Say it, son. Say it. It's coming back to bite me, Eric. Say it. Say it. Dare you.
Oh, my
all
God.
That Canelo hate. El Paso, Texas, my old stomping grounds. El Paso, is this D-Style?
This is D-Style Boxing. Yes, it is. How's it going, guys? Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yeah,
we got you good.
Sound like an angel.
That's Verizon, so I'm good, right?
That's
so
it.
Verizon.
He's not calling from Rikers. He's calling from Verizon. There's a big difference.
That's right.
Definitely. Great fight. I would like to repeat some of the things Brian Cannon said during the broadcast, but I can't say these things. They belong on Pornhub, The dude was deep throwing Canelo the whole fucking fight, man. It was insane.
Wasn't he, man?
That's bad.
I scored a draw last night. I rewatched it this morning. I had Canelo winning by a round when I rewatched it, but I couldn't stand the commentary. The commentary was just atrocious. And for anyone trying to pass there's already a narrative on star fighters getting the benefit of the doubt, and people were already saying things like Canelo's he's gonna win by decision, and no matter what Jacobs does, and it just doesn't help with commentary like that. You don't help your cause whatsoever. So I feel the commentary was atrocious. It was one of the worst commentary jobs I've ever seen, and that's saying a lot.
Really was.
Because I've seen a lot of boxing in my day.
It was bad.
And also, man, dude, that dude praising the zone. I mean, come on, dude. That guy is trolling. I will give my left nut to prove that he's trolling. Okay, especially, I mean, that was just over the top. Okay,
yeah,
that was over the top promotion. Okay, like, and he's not even getting paid to do it. That's what's amazing. But props to him. We all need to love some. But I will say this though, and these are intricacies that I noticed personally. And I'm not saying the zone can't improve because it can, but I'm not a fan of the camera angles, man, and a lot of people aren't talking about that. The camera angles at times are horrible, especially when you're trying to see if certain punches are landing or not. I don't need to see Canelo's back for a full minute. You know, it's not good. You know, it's not HBO quality camera work. Let's just say that. I don't think anybody is. Even Showtime kind of lacks a little bit. But hopefully they step their game up because the production value of DAZN, it's not that high. I can't complain. I mean, I only paid $19.99. Yeah. But I will also say that there was a lot of issues with. I paid with DAZN. I paid for DAZN. I said I would buy it for this fight, and it didn't go through the first time. It told me there was a problem with processing the payment, but I got the email that they processed the payment. It definitely took it from my PayPal. You know, so I think it was a PayPal thing. It wasn't taking that payment. I had to pay with my credit card again. And their live agents weren't available. They said agents are not available at this time. During, like, right before the fight. That's horrible. You know, they got to improve that. All right? I'm sure I'll get my refund. I'll be all right. Yeah. It's not the end of the world.
But it's annoying.
I left them a nice little email, you know.
Yeah, it's annoying, man.
It's annoying, and I thought I just paid $20 and I might not even get to see the fight. You know, I was trying to get access to the fight. But speaking of something I want to touch on really quick before I go, all right? Look, obviously, on the PlayStation and Xbox, it's going to work because those devices are made for, you know, playing live video games, you know, which uses a lot more internet or data than, you know, streaming does. Because you're only uploading from a streaming perspective, you know, you're not downloading that much, you know. So as far as that goes, that makes a lot of sense. But I will say, though, not everyone, you know, has great internet available, much less subscribe to it, right? A vast majority of Americans don't have the speed adequate to play video games or to stream without any buffering whatsoever. You know, that's just not an issue, and that is hurting the zone to a certain degree. I have to watch the internet available in my neighborhood. It just isn't fast enough. I have to watch it. I have Verizon, so I have 4G, if you know what I mean, right? Yeah. But so I watch it on my phone without an issue. My phone had no problems. Wow. The reason I had to buy it was because I tried to watch it at a bar. It was buffering horribly at the bar, right? I mean, it was not a good experience whatsoever.
Yeah, and I think it depends on what kind of connection they have too. I mean, because the bar is showing it on how many TVs, you know, and I think that, you know, like I said, man, it just depends on what kind of connection that you're dealing with there.
Well, I just kind of wish, I mean, would it hurt the zone to just be a channel available on all, like, you know, they could do it. There could be a channel available on DirecTV if they wanted to. You know like it's.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah. But I think it would be a whole different dynamic for them. I think this is better for them business model wise.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, that dude promoting the zone. I mean, I appreciate his hustle. Or I don't know who he's hustling, but I haven't been that impressed with the zone. Okay, it hasn't it's not boxing right now. I don't know.
No, since I'm a DirecTV subscriber, if they offered me that, I'd pay for it in a minute. No problem.
Let me ask you though.
Yeah, I mean, you could even charge $30 a month. I mean, people would get it because you could just record it on your DVR. You could just watch it on your damn TV.
That's right.
You don't have to worry about anything else, really. You know? Like, I have a lot of uncles that are Canelo fans. They did not get to watch this fight. You know, because it's just the whole thing, as simple it seems to us, it's very complicated for a lot of individuals out there.
And there's 9 more fights on this contract. 9 more. So
there it is. That's a big contract.
9 more fights. That is insane. They're going to come up with like the zone premiere or something. You watch like in a couple of months, and you're going to have to pay a little extra for those Canelo fights. That's what I think.
So let me ask you. You said you're not really sold on DAZN. What is it? The fights you're not sold on, or what exactly are you not sold on? Because I think they have. I think they have a great product as far as the fights are concerned.
Well, let me rephrase that. I'm just saying I'm not as enthusiastic as that dude was. That's all. Right?
Well, I think very few people
it's
are.
all right. I mean, I don't have an issue with the zone. There's nothing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the zone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying like I'm against it or anything. I'm just not really. I don't know if it's worth the $19 a month, and I don't think it's worth paying $99 and not knowing what I'm going to get for 12 months. You know, so
yeah,
we'll see, of course. But I think this is the first fight that I said, yeah, right, I'll pay for it. You know, I could illegally stream these things, but I chose to pay for this because I thought it was a good fight.
You're not,
you know, so I decided to support it. But I just don't. You know, I have my reasons. We don't want to dive into all that, you know, but I know you have other callers. But as far as the zone goes, I just think the cards can improve, you know, personally, for what they're charging people for the only thing they really provide. I mean, as a boxing fan, I look at everything else on the zone. Nothing there really interests me. If I was a fan of cricket, I'd be on board, right? But for them just giving me boxing for what they're charging and the cards that they've had on there, it's all how you value it. Some people think it is valuable to them. I don't know. It's just not something I'm sold on yet.
I don't know. I'm still not convinced that Canelo is going to collect this $365 million. To me, I just don't.
Remember
I
that
don't see
AAF? It went out of business right away.
Yeah, that's right.
Just overnight, it just happened. I think that's how the zone's going to go out.
Canelo collected $35 million, Robert, for the fight. I don't understand this logic. He collected $35 million for the fight last night, and that was just the posted, what he got posted, like the guarantee or whatever. Who knows if he got more on the back end? Daniel Jacobs collected $2.5 million that was posted, but we know his contract is worth more. Speculation, it was between $10 and $15 million for the fight last night. So,
and remember, Canelo got an extra million from him.
Or before the penalty?
That was before the penalties, yeah.
Well, yeah. But, you know, all I'll say as far as the fight goes, it was a very good boxing fight. I enjoyed the fight. I know there's people out there that like to see people just close their eyes and throw punches. I like to see a chess match myself, and I think there was action. I think it was a really good fight. And I have no idea. We really won't know how many people saw this fight, really. I mean, do they really post those numbers out there? Do we believe them? I don't know. But I think it was a good fight. You know?
Yeah, I think so, too. Good deal. All right, D-Style, man, we appreciate you calling in as usual. And then, guys, go check out, give me your YouTube channel, man, so we can check them out.
It's D-Style Boxing.
D-Style Boxing on YouTube, man. Go subscribe to him. Go check him out, okay, guys?
Awesome.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it, man.
Peace.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. So, Robert, let me ask you a question now. So, you don't think he's going to collect $350 million or whatever, but he just collected 35 last night.
Well, remember, they're only two fights into this deal. He's had 9 more to go.
Yeah, but I mean, let's face it. I mean, anything can happen. He could retire. He could do. I mean, there's a multitude of things that can happen. But if he finishes out his contract, you don't think that they'll honor the contract?
No. I'm skeptical whether DAZN is going to be able to hang around that long. You know.
Huh. I mean,
I'm flabbergasted. I'm flabbergasted here.
Yeah.
I really think that apps are good for some things, but for boxing, I don't think it's a good thing. I think ESPN and DAZN, ESPN Plus will probably stick around a lot longer because they have a big network behind them. And Beeb, you say their financials are okay, but see, last night, this was a pay-per-view worthy fight, but yet we're not going to know what the numbers were, how many people actually got to see this, because it won't be released.
We don't need to know the numbers, though. Why do we need to know the numbers?
Well, come on, Eric. Whenever we talk about pay-per-view buys, one of the questions we always ask is, how many pay-per-view buys?
But it wasn't pay-per-view.
Yeah, but when we watch fights on Showtime, do we talk about how many people watch the fight on Showtime?
No, we don't.
I don't know,
we never do.
It's a lot of straw man arguments you're throwing up here.
I don't know. Call me questionable. I don't know if this model is going to last.
But Robbie, with all due respect, and I'm just going to have to say this, you're giving your opinion on something you've never used.
That's true. I freely admit that.
Is that fair?
No, it's probably not fair.
Would you say that you're being a little stubborn because you won't even attempt to use it?
Yeah, I would say I'm stubborn because I always have been.
Okay, so...
Well, no, but I mean, but you're being stubborn on this issue, though. I think that's what he's saying, is that you're being stubborn on this issue.
No, I totally agree with that, Eric. I'm not going to argue that point.
It would literally take me 10 to 15 minutes to show you how to work the zone. And I would myself, I would buy you a Chromecast and I would mail it to your house. And I would go on the phone with you and I would tell you, stick the Chromecast in your HDMI. Okay? I'd walk you through setting it up. Okay? And then you could buy the app. I'll do this for you. I'm being 100% honest. I'll buy the zone for you for a year and I'll buy you a Chromecast. Okay? And I'll walk you through how to set it up. I'll walk you through how to set it up. Okay? And then give it a couple of months and try it out to see if you like it or not. I would do that for you.
I know you would, Beeb.
$160 is not a lot of money for me.
Yeah. No, I know you would, but I just have my doubts on this business model for apps in boxing. I
guess the long and the short is, who really cares? I'll be honest. I mean, who cares if the app lasts or if it doesn't last? What difference does it make? You know what I mean? It's just like Sirius. It's just like Sirius radio. I mean, everybody says, well, not a lot of people listen to it because there's going to be more people that listen to the radio on terrestrial or whatever.
Well, they have 35 million subscribers, so that I know for a fact.
Right, but so what? I mean, you know what I'm saying? But when it first came out, it was kind of a judgment call, whether you bought it or not, and you didn't know if it was going to stick around or it wasn't going to stick around.
Well, yeah, that's why I waited 4 or 5 years before I bought one.
Right, but what you did know about it is that you like the show on there. I like this show, or I like that show, or I like the option of, getting this channel or listening to Mexican music or rock or whatever it is, you want to listen to.
Right.
You like that aspect of it. And here with DAZN, you like the aspect of watching fights. That's all he's saying.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably going to do the same thing with DAZN that I did with Sirius. I'll wait probably 4 or 5 years, and if it's still stable, I'll probably buy it. That's how I normally do things.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to the phones. 805. I believe this is San Luis Obispo, California.
That's Mr. Nacho.
Nacho.
Hey guys, what's up?
Live.
Nacho, I missed you, brother. I missed you.
Well, thanks, guys. Yeah, it's been a while since I called in. So.
It's not the same without you. It's not the same without you, brother. It's not the same without you. You bring a
Beeb.
You bring a calmness to the show that we really need.
He's a good caller, man. So what do you got for us today, Nacho?
Well, watching the card last night, it's interesting that all these people are saying that people were having trouble watching the fights on the app, and I was actually at a friend's house yesterday, and he downloaded the app yesterday a couple hours before the fight started, and he was able to stream it on multiple TVs, and we never had any issues other than the occasional blurriness and stuff, where sometimes it would the picture would get a little bit blurry, but then it would clear up right away. So I don't understand how some people were having so many issues with the app yesterday, but we never had that issue, especially since 3 different TVs were playing it at the same time. So I don't know. I don't get it. But as far as the fights, I was surprised at how tentative he came out last night, Jacobs, in that I thought he was going to come out a lot more aggressive. And to be honest, I think he gave the fight away in the first half of the fight. to me, I only thought that Jacobs won one of the first 6 rounds. I thought Canelo basically backed him up the entire time. He made him miss whenever Jacobs was trying to throw a shot at his head. He would miss most of the time with the occasional body shot that he would land. And I just felt like Jacobs was way too tentative. It was like he almost respected Canelo too much, and I think that cost him the fight last night. Because to me, Canelo didn't look like overly impressive, but he did more than Jacobs, and doing more was enough for him to win the fight last night. But I got to give him credit in that, he was able to, make Jacobs miss and not really, land anything clean for the most part, other than the occasional body shot, and maybe once in a while he had a headshot that landed. But for the most part, he was able to keep him off balance, and he wasn't able to do anything. And then he made him turn southpaw on various occasions, and he didn't do much of anything as a southpaw to me. So it's funny how some people were saying that they thought Jacobs won the fight. I honestly didn't. I didn't think he won the fight. I thought at most he won maybe 4 rounds, in my opinion. So I had Canelo winning 116 to 112. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with Canelo next, because these stories were coming out earlier in the week about how Golden Boy is basically trying to tell Golovkin that he won't get the 3rd fight unless he has a belt to bring to the table. And I'm thinking, like, what does that matter? You guys already made a killing off the first 2 fights. Why the hell does he need a belt? You don't really need anything to sell the fight. It's, it's part 3 of the trilogy at this point. So that doesn't make any sense. But we'll see if they end up going with that fight next, or if they try to go a different direction. Virgil Ortiz looked really good, but I wasn't all that thrilled with the fact that they gave him Mauricio Herrera. I thought Herrera was pretty much, on his way out. And, he doesn't bring a whole lot to the table as far as punching power. And I just felt like Virgil Ortiz was going to be able to walk through him. And that's what happened last night. He was able to walk through him. He didn't get hit with anything that, he had to respect from Herrera. And once that happened, it was pretty much downhill from there for Herrera. And that was a hell of a right hand that he landed and basically knocked him out while he was on his feet before he even hit the ground. So I give Ortiz credit. He did what he had to do, but I wish they would have picked a better opponent. Hopefully he'll get a better opponent in his next fight, because he was talking about he wants a title shot sooner rather than later, but I don't know how he's going to get that, considering that Prograis has one of the belts, and then they're talking about Hooker and Jose Ramirez might unify. So it's going to be tough for him to get a belt anytime soon. The other, that was pretty shocking to see Saddam Ali get waxed last night. I honestly didn't think that Anthony Young was bringing anything to the table that, he could upset Saddam Ali with, but man, he proved me wrong. He just went out there and took it to him, and he just made him look bad, and that's a bad loss for Ali. Like, at this point, you kind of wonder, what does he really have left if he gets beat by a guy who basically was, given to him as an opponent, to make him look good, and he ended up losing to that guy. So it's a bad loss, and now you got to kind of wonder what Ali has left after that fight.
Where does he go?
And
really, like, where does Ali go?
Yeah, where does he go?
I mean, that was a
bad
loss. It was a 23. What did Beeb say? I think Beeb said he was a 23-1 favorite, and he got waxed like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he got put
that
away,
was
son. So
yeah, it was a bad loss for him. So and the guy who coming in only had like 7 knockouts, so he wasn't a puncher, and he got waxed by him, and so that's just a bad look for Ali at this point. I don't know what they plan on doing with him next. It's going to be interesting what kind of a rebuild they do for him if he decides to stick around. And then Ryder fighting the I can't even say his name, but he was Canelo's sparring partner. Man, he just basically blew that guy out of the water. I've always thought Ryder was a very good fighter who just basically hadn't been, given a shot to be seen. So it was interesting that he got to stay on the card and he got the win, and he called out Callum Smith, which I think would be an interesting fight for sure, because I think Ryder can go in there and hang with him for a while before Smith eventually gets him. But it was a good win for Ryder, and he stayed busy, and now hopefully he gets a shot at Smith later on down the line. And and then Lamont Roach and Jonathan Oquendo, I don't know what the hell the judges were watching. I honestly did not think Lamont Roach won that fight last night.
I thought he lost.
I thought they gave him
completely lost it.
Yeah, I thought they gave him way too many rounds. There's no way he won that fight.
97. What is it? 97, 92, or 97, 93, or something like that. Like, dude, come on. There's no way he won that fight like that. He was getting muscled up every round.
Yeah, Oquendo was putting it on him, and he hurt him on multiple occasions.
Right.
I don't know what the hell happened in that fight. That was bad.
That was a bad decision. But he's the house fighter.
Yeah.
So you knew it was.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
It was going to be tough, man. That was going to be tough. But yeah.
That's it.
Oquendo, I thought, won that fight, man.
Yeah, me too. That's why I was totally shocked that, they gave Roach the decision, because to me, he didn't do anything to win that fight. I thought Oquendo won that fight easily, So, and what was it? And I did get to watch a little bit of the Top Rank one last night. It's interesting to see Beterbiev, who hasn't looked all that great recently, basically beat up on the on Hot Rod, who gave Marcus Brown hell a few years back. So he went in there and he took him out and looked pretty good doing it. Yeah, he dominated the fight, and now he wants a unification shot against Kovalev. But I wonder if Kovalev's going to be able to beat Anthony Yard, because they're still talking about that fight happening next for Kovalev. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets Kovalev, or if not, give him Gvozdyk next, because Gvozdyk doesn't have an opponent. And Ancajas, that was a perfect opponent for him last night. The way he went in there against the Japanese dude, and basically that guy just stood there in front of him and let him tee off. And Ancajas got, a big. He got a really good performance out of it by, beating up on the opponent the way he did. So
Ancajas looked scary last night.
That was good.
That was, he looked good.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I'm just wondering what the hesitation is with Top Rank to try to get a unification fight. Like, giving him these fights like the ones with,
that's what it is.
They need to find somebody.
House, man.
But
I think would fare well against any of the other chamber. I think he ices Calia 5, man. But I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think that's the fight they should make, is against your fight, for sure. But I don't get what Top Rank's doing with him. It's like he's stagnating to a certain extent, and they're not doing anything for him. Exactly. And that's pretty much it, guys.
All right,
I'll talk to you guys next week.
We appreciate your call, man.
All right.
Thank you so much. Don't be a stranger, man. Call up.
Thanks.
Salute to Corey Lee. Salute Corey Lee.
Corey Lee, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it.
Don't cut him off, Robbie.
Speaking of Corey Lee, and we only got 11 minutes left. Beeb, it's coming hot. It's coming hot. Corey, 804, you're live.
What's up?
What's
going
happening?
on, everybody? Corey Lee Boxing back with another banger.
Yeah. What's up with you and Dogman, man? Dogman just said that Corey Lee is fake. He said that he's kind of trashing you in the chat a little bit here. What's up with you and Dogman?
Hey, man, I don't know what's up with these trolls, man. I guess they gotta talk about somebody, man. Why not talk about the Corey Lee boxing channel, man? You know, good press, bad press. It's all good in my eyes, man. You know what I'm saying? They're not talking about you. You're not doing something right. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But yeah, man. On a more positive note, man, what a good fight, man. I mean, I gotta give it up to Canelo and Danny Jacobs, man. Definitely did a good fight, man. Is it candidate of fight of the year? I'm gonna go with no, but I definitely think it was definitely a really good fight. It had its ebbs and flows. I truly believe that Danny Jacobs, took off the first half of the fight. He came on in the, I believe it was the 7th through 11th where he caught my attention, and he was doing some pretty good damage. But overall, man, Canelo, and that's another thing, you guys. I gotta salute Canelo Alvarez on a fucking iron chin. I mean, god damn. I mean, this dude's chin is underrated, you guys. I mean, Danny Jacobs hit this dude with everything he had. So I'm talking about flush jawline shots, okay, that any other fighter would have definitely got hurt on. I truly believe that. You know what I'm saying? Canelo Alvarez took it and kept coming, baby. Beebs. I'm telling you, man, like, it was awesome, man. It was a really good fight, man. I truly believe that Canelo Alvarez showed why he is on, or should be on, everybody's top pound-for-pound list. Why Gervonta Davis has him as his number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world. But one thing that I really didn't get about Errol Spence actually went to a Golden Boy promoted fight, okay? And not only did he go, he had some words, for the winner, Canelo. He says that he thinks that Danny Jacobs won that fight. Now, I disagree with Errol Spence in many ways with him saying that, because I think he's so far off and so far gone. There is no way even if I give Danny Jacobs, 1 or 2 rounds, I still don't see him winning that fight, man. I just do not see how Errol Spence could see this guy winning this fight, man. It's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, I had Canelo Alvarez winning it by 4 rounds. I think he did a lot, man. And I think in some of those swing rounds, I think Canelo Alvarez did enough to steal it at the end, because if you notice, Canelo Alvarez, most of those rounds that were swing rounds, he normally finished strong, though. If you guys notice that, Canelo Alvarez normally finished the round pretty strong. And I think that's a telltale sign, and I think that came with age. That came with age and, learning when to put on the gas and when not to put on the gas. And I think he learned a lot in the Triple G fight and the Floyd Mayweather fight, man. Definitely learned a lot in the Laura fight. It's just so many different, boxers that he's been in there with, that he's learned from. And I just think that all, helped him out in his Danny Jacobs fight. And that's why I bet my motherfucking money. I put $100 on this fight. One of my subscribers, shout out to DHSB, he bet me $100 live on air, and he paid me live on air. So I won $100. He bet straight up. He wanted Jacobs to win. I wanted Canelo Alvarez to win. Man, that was like the easiest money I've won. Beeb Industries is back running. I'm going to donate, man. I'm going to donate to the Beeb Industries, baby. We're going to get you out of bankruptcy, baby. We're good. You filed chapter 12.
Chapter 13.
So we're going to get you out. You filed chapter 13, man.
Lois, you filed the papers yet, Lois?
She's in the box, Beeb.
But, yo, man, it's all love, man. But, yeah, so the other fight, too, you guys, the Roach fight, I mean, this guy is just going to be gifted. I mean, I feel like this is his second gift that I've seen. I've only seen him fight twice, and both fights this guy was, hurt in both of the fights. And not only was he hurt, I feel like he could have possibly lost both of the fights that I watched.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's not that good.
This guy, Lamont Roach, man, he's got a lot to work on, Eric and Beeb and Robbie. This guy, I don't even see him being a world titleist. I feel like if he gets in there with any of the champions, it could possibly be stretch season, volume 70, baby. Yes. Lamont Roach could possibly get iced. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be honest with you, man. Lamont Roach's chin does not pass the test, baby. He gets hurt too easy. He's there to get hit. And I don't even know why he had those belts and holding him up like he was a fucking world champion, dude. These goofy-ass belts that they're giving everybody. Next thing you know, they're gonna have, Beeb and Eric with a world title belt, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think that's
so
out of
many
the question.
different,
What's
no,
wrong with
it's
that?
not.
If anybody deserves it, I would think I do. I'm the champ.
Yeah. Oh, but hold on. Did you lose though? Hold on, though.
I regained it. I'm a two-time champ now.
You lose?
I'm a two-time champ.
No, you lost. Tell him, Beeb, he lost, man.
I'm the champ. I'm still the champ.
He picked the
Beeb, didn't you beat him? Yeah.
No, Beeb never beat me.
He picked the belt out of the trash barrel.
I Lennox Lewis did.
Yo, that's what I'm saying, Eric. How the hell can you be a champion when you lost? Come on, man.
I lost to
Don't be a
Georgie.
sore
Georgie
loser.
defended it.
You
Georgie
took that
lost to me.
L. Oh man, hey Beeb, I don't know about you, but I smell a monopoly, baby.
Don't worry.
I
Don't worry.
smell a monopoly.
I already filed the paperwork, man. We're working on that. I already
you put that in there.
contacted the commission.
The commission. The Beeb
All right,
Industries
man. Long as Suleiman's not in it, we're good, man. But
Lois, file the papers, Lois.
File the paperwork, baby. But yeah, man. What I want to talk about before I head on, man, is there was some good fights. Oh yeah, Archer better be one of my number one light heavyweight, and he's been like this for 2 years. I made a video about a year and a half ago, the number one Dutch fighter in the world of boxing, and it was Archer Beterbiev. And I truly feel that this guy, Archer Beterbiev, should be fighting the Kovalevs of the world. But that's another thing. Kovalev's getting ready to fight, and yes, you guys, I don't know if you guys broke the story, but Kovalev will be fighting Anthony Yard, I believe this summer. And I truly believe that Anthony Yard's not ready for that fight, man.
I don't think he is either.
I truly believe Anthony Yard is not ready for that fight. I truly believe that Anthony Yard could possibly get seriously hurt in this fight.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck if you're a bodybuilder. Those muscles don't do shit for me. Those muscles don't do shit for me. Like Andre Ward said, those muscles gonna need oxygen. Those muscles are gonna need, like blood flowing and stuff like that. And he says, Andre Ward says, Andre Ward says, and I quote, I used to love fighting those guys with big muscles because they would always gas out. And Andre Ward knows what the fuck he's talking about. Look at his resume. I think Anthony Yard gets stopped, you guys. I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. Kovalev still has the power, and Kovalev still
90 seconds.
Respected, okay? I think that Elder Alvarez fight, and I think that Elder Alvarez, rematch showed a lot from his fortitude, his will to win, shows us that he's still in it to win it, and it shows that Kovalev didn't go anywhere yet. He's still there, So I think Anthony Yard is biting off a little bit more than he can chew. I think that a lot of fans were wondering when was he going to get the
60 seconds.
Get the shot. As you all know, the reason why I'm bringing this up, Archer Beterbiev already offered him a fight, you guys. He turned it down. They said the deal was good, the money was good. They said Frank Warren said out of his own fucking mouth, and this was just 4 months ago. 4 months ago, he said he wasn't ready. Frank Warren said that. Four months later, you're ready for Kovalev, but you're not ready for Beterbiev? Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you guys straight up, man. These guys been ducking better, Beeb, dog, and enough is enough, man. It's time for somebody to say something. You know what I'm saying? Better Beeb is a threat. He's a champion, so they're gonna have to see him. You know, but I think they're just playing that game, and they're letting some of these champions get older, and they're trying to let these young crop of talent
10 seconds.
You know, like the Buatsis of the world, you know, like the Anthony Yards of the world. But I'm telling you, man, some of these guys, man, they are not as good as what we're hyping them up to be, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. Anthony Yards, you know, first of all, he's never even fought anybody in the fucking top 5 or top 10 in any of the sanctioning bodies, in any of them. And then you're ready for Kovalev, but you haven't even fought a top 10 light heavyweight. You fought a top 10 super middleweight. That's who you fought, and that's the only guy you fought. That's when he won that WBO Intercontinental title. That was a super middleweight moving up to light heavyweight, dude. And for all intents and purposes, you guys, Anthony Yarde could be a fucking cruiserweight. I mean, you know. So I just cannot wait for him to fight Kovalev. You know, all of those bullying tactics and all of those, you know, he's fighting these smaller guys. I guarantee you one thing: he won't be fighting a smaller guy when he fights Kovalev. That's guaranteed. Wow. The last thing I want to say before I get off, you guys, great show. And Canelo Alvarez, for his next fight, you guys, I don't know if you talked about it yet, but I truly believe that Canelo Alvarez's next fight should either be one of two things. He should either fight, I truly believe he should either fight Demetrius Andrade to become, you know, the undisputed middleweight champion of the world. You know, only very, very few fighters can ever say that. And mind you, Triple G never was able to say that because guess what? Billy Joe Saunders held on for that title for dear life, baby. So, you know, Gennady Golovkin got really close. He had 3 of the belts. You know, technically he had 4 because he had the IBO belt, but you know, me and Beeb Industries, we don't really count that belt over here on Beeb Industries. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't think anybody counts that belt.
Please, Robbie.
Oh, Robbie, so nice of you to join us. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, you're on a roll, Corey. I'm not going to interrupt.
Oh man, you're on a roll, man. How you doing today?
I'm all right. I'm fighting allergies, but I'm okay.
All right, Robbie. You know, I just pick with you. I mess with you, man. But at the end of the night, man, I still love you guys. This is the best fucking show, you guys. Show some love. If you got $1 to spare, if you got 2, donate in the fucking super chat, dog. Come on. They got the super chat now. They're rocking and rolling. You know, it was a while. You know, I was there when they didn't have it. Now that they do have it, I'm definitely going to show love. And yeah, man, this channel deserves it. They put in a lot of hard work, you guys. They were live last night at 2 in the morning. I got to give it up to you guys, man. You guys are really putting in that work, man. And
thank you very much.
You guys are definitely motivating me, man, to do bigger and better things, man. So you guys have a great night. This is Corey Lee Boxing, man. Signing out, you guys. Peace out, man.
Thank you so much, Corey.
Corey Lee Boxing on YouTube. You can find him on Corey Lee Boxing at YouTube. And thank you so much to Dale in Chi-Town, man. Thank you very much for that, man. We appreciate it, obviously, man. So very, very, very grateful. Very grateful. Let's go through the news and rumors here real quick because, Beeb, we're on overtime now.
I know. I'm starting to shake right now. I'm getting
a little shaky. Like, you know, I got to go watch it. You know, there's no commercials. You know.
Lois, make sure the DVR set, please.
Did you rename, like, your Alexa app to Lois? By chance? I'm just saying, like Siri, you know, your Lois.
Okay, Lois. Okay.
All right, so news and rumors. Triple G chooses Jonathan Banks as his new trainer. How about that? Robert, you like this move?
I don't know. I got questions. I thought he would go with a Robert Garcia. I thought he would go with maybe Joe Goosen. You know, I don't know. And I didn't realize Jonathan Banks was in Southern California. I thought he wanted somebody in L.A. As far as I know, Jonathan Banks is not in L.A., so I don't know. But, you know, as we talked about before the show, and Beeb made some good points, he said everybody that Banks has been with, you know, they've kept their records clean, and he's done a good job. So maybe I'm wrong here, but I want to see what happens. I'll put it that way. We'll see.
I don't think Banks is a bad choice, but I agree. I mean, I thought he should have went with Robert Garcia too, but I just don't think that Banks is a bad choice. I think Banks has a lot of knowledge. I think he's learned a lot from Emmanuel Stewart, and he's kind of just reinforced that type of boxing knowledge that he got from Emmanuel Stewart, and he's reinforced his training principles and just carried out the same type of training style that he learned from Emmanuel Stewart. So Emmanuel Stewart, in my opinion, is the best trainer of all time in boxing. I loved him as a trainer.
I totally agree.
He's by far my favorite trainer. And Jonathan Banks has worked with him, and so I think that definitely he's definitely capable of training Triple G. Let's see how this partnership works out now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think he could have done worse. Could have done a lot worse.
Yeah.
Could he have done better? Yeah, I think so. I think that there's better fits out there for him. I think Garcia probably would have been a better fit for him. I think honestly, that's the trainer I would have chosen if I were him. But again, man, it's about the money, man. If Garcia, whatever Banks taken, I'm sure he's taken probably less than Abel was, and it is what it is, I mean, what can you say, man? We can see how he does with him. Deontay Wilder has come out now and said he will not fight Joshua until 2020. This is after Shelley Finkel had said the same thing. So yeah, good luck with that. Not going to fight him until 2020. Now, I want to hear all the same people that were saying that Joshua was ducking Wilder. If they're going to say the same thing now, Wilder's ducking Joshua.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was saying the same thing today.
Yeah, I mean, is Wilder ducking Joshua now? I don't know. I mean,
but
I don't necessarily think that's the case. But look, man. I mean, if you're going to make an argument for one, you got to make it for both.
Yeah. It's a tough situation. I mean, essentially what this means is he's going to have another fight at the end of the year, and it's not going to be Joshua. But does that mean that Joshua could be next in the beginning of next year? Who knows? Problem is they won't even sit down and talk to Matchroom. They won't even talk to Joshua's side. So
yeah. So yeah, what are you going to do?
I don't understand.
Now Deontay Wilder is fighting Dominic Breazeale next, or Dominic Breazeale. I always call him Breazeale because that's the way his name is spelled. So he's fighting Dominic Breazeale next, and I think the tickets are moving pretty slow. I'm hearing the tickets are moving slow, but the tickets are actually being sold on Groupon as well. And for a big time fight, I don't remember a whole lot of tickets being sold on Groupon for the heavyweight championship of the world. So, I don't know, man. That it's not a good look. Not a good look, guys.
I don't know. The two fights that we want to see, I don't think we're going to see either one of them. Wilder Joshua, Wilder Fury. The heavyweight division, instead of being competitive, is now all of a sudden divided. Yeah. These three guys have got to figure out a way to work together.
I agree. All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can contact Robert on Twitter at Ringside Robert or call Ringside Robbie's Corner at
area code 773-572-7781.
There you go, and leave him a message. You can catch Joe Habib on Twitter at JHabib1. Find our YouTube channel at RingsideReporterLive.com. I'm at Ringside73 on Twitter, and we will see you next week.